not sure again. The penalty looks very soft. Don't know how many more chances they had off the top of my head. Same time, I think we've had 2 really that have just, I think, hit the keeper. On another day could have been goals, but if I'm just talking about what I expect from our team, then we were some way off.
Yeah, it was one of those games where they didn't get going from the start and then struggled to get themselves going during the game as well.
We just had that conversation, and don't get me wrong, look, as much as we all said, stand in a dressing room and say let's start fast, the opposition are probably saying the same, so someone's not going to get the start they want. But at the same time, we were slow. I agreed to get going, and then probably struggled to get going overall. I think we had a lot of sort of obviously possession and territory towards for large parts of that second half, even some towards the end of the first half maybe, but didn't have that quality, didn't end product that we talk about. We had a lot of attacking players out there, and something I'll take responsibility for, and I certainly question myself, is if I got the balance of the team wrong, which I kind of, I guess, backed the players in terms of who I did select to do the job. But, sometimes I feel a bit almost like the England one, where they had the last game. The Gareth Southgate went with a lot of the players they wanted, the public in general, and then suddenly they don't get the result. Something didn't quite seem right, and, maybe there was some of that tonight where we huffed and puffed a little bit, but like I said, didn't create nowhere near enough. It's hard. They defended well. I'll give them credit for that. But just overall, I felt we were second best for large parts. Or large parts as in early in the game, which kind of set the tone and made life more difficult.
You said about the balance. In what respect do you mean the balance was wrong slightly tonight?
Well, obviously, I didn't want to play Harry, who's travelled with us, got treatment. I think it was the last game of the season he would have played, but just cautious in terms of losing him for longer. So decided to not take the risk. And, realistically, when Harry plays, he kind of gives us an extra worker, if you want, an extra midfield player in a wider position. Tonight we went with 2 more attacking players, and more natural sort of wide players. That I guess when it might be the subs you make as you go on when you need a goal, but didn't think we got enough from those. If I'm brutally honest,
I don't know if it's out of view because we're low down here or whatever, but the wide players tonight seemed very wide, if you see what I mean, and Lenny quite often was a little bit isolated up front.
Well, the John McAtee initially, and then Will, as it was, were the ones with the job of getting closer to Lenny. We wanted to stretch play. We got a lot of balls to his fullbacks, but at half time, we spoke about those not getting forward or not starting high enough when we switched play. Therefore, it gave the Wealdstone players time to shuffle across the pitch and not hurt them. I thought we switched play okay, but like I said, not with enough intent from the fullbacks, and that's not just down to them. There's a lot of players tonight that I'm not pleased with performances, and it's things can change very quickly, and obviously I'm the one tasked with naming the team and my thoughts, so some are kind of disappointed me, and tonight was the most important game because that was the game in front of us, not what's coming Saturday, not what's gone before. It was tonight, and we, like I said, are disappointed to lose the game and not sort of, I guess, play how I feel the team has often done.
John McAtee got a knock just before half-time. Looked a foul and nothing was given. Then he got another one just after half-time when he wasn't running well. What's the situation with him? I know it's very early after the game.
I think it's similar to what he had, John. That's a bit of a concern. We'll have to see how he is. But he's trying to run around, I'll give him that. But it didn't look like he was fit. So we made the decision not to make it any worse, and off he came. So we'll have to assess him for the weekend. But he played too deep first half. He was getting the ball far too deep. Didn't feel like we hardly had any forward runs, and that suddenly becomes a lot easier to play against. I think their front lads, in fairness, particularly Umara, I thought he ran the channels well. He made everything up very, very awkward when it went up. We can, I guess, discuss some of the decisions that I'm not too pleased about, but I'd have much preferred that if we'd won the game, and I can have my say, because you end up being accused of excuses and sour grapes.
I don't want to put words into your mouth, but obviously McAtee, I presume, looks a little bit doubtful already for the weekend. You've got Ryan Taylor, who's still not involved. I know you've been putting off bringing a striker in, but does that make it more obviously more important that you get somebody in and just maybe for a month's loan or whatever you can do?
Potentially. It's something that I guess when you don't want to just have a knee-jerk up because of a result that we didn't want, but it is potentially an area where we could be a bit lighter. But at the same time, we've got Will, we've got Erico, we've got Max Wright, and they might not be out and out strikers, but if we bring another one into the fray, then someone else misses out of the squad, and then you kind of question mark is, well, why is he not involved? Like I said, we can only have so many. But it is certainly something that I'll be considering.
Finally, I know you haven't overreacted to the good things this season, and it's important you don't overreact to this.
It is, of course it is, yeah. And, just see on your notepad there, the crowd and the travelling fans again. And, I think they booed at half-time. I'm not sure, maybe a combination of our performance and someone else's performance. But at the end, they stay in and clap the lads. And, I think it kind of, I guess, are in credit to some degree. But, if we get too many more of those, then it'll be a boo at the end. And, I wouldn't be able to grumble too much on that, because we want to give more than what we showed tonight and give them a lot more to cheer about, which, in fairness, like I said, the players have done today. We're still top of the league. Every other club near enough has obviously not done as well as us in our league. So, we don't want to catastrophise things, but at the same time, I can't hide my disappointment, and like I said, there's just some question marks there from that type of performance. I then go back to Maidenhead, which was, I've just mentioned, in the dressing room to the players. Again, I took some responsibility for that one in terms of perhaps training the week that we had. Looked at that tonight, training wise, no, nothing wrong with that. Like I said, maybe I got the balance of the team, or maybe I'm looking to try and find excuses to defend the players. We'll see.
Paul, thanks for joining up. I think, to be fair, a lot of the boos were not for your team.
No, I said no problem. But yeah, I didn't realise that the 6-second rule with a keeper having the ball had changed.
The fans were calling the numbers, weren't they?
Yeah, and apparently the referee didn't know what I was talking about and wasn't told at half time by the fourth official, who told me he'd told it. But look, that's another story.
It is indeed. Paul, thanks for joining us.